Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1449. Woo, we're getting closer to that 1,460. Tonight, as you can see, I have a special guest with me. This is Bill Quigley. And oh my God, this guy is amazing. You can read his bio in the description below, but we discovered we had some stuff in common. He was US Air Force, I was Royal New Zealand Air Force. And we sat down and we actually had a chat, and it was surprising at how much we had in common, even from being from two completely different countries, two different air forces. But it was a very interesting conversation. So, Bill,
Yes.
well, I am super excited to have you here. Welcome to the show. Now, in your thing, you have a very interesting background in security, private investigation, bodyguard. You help people live their best life now by helping them get into their homes. That's a complete turnaround.
Hey, we all have changes in lives following there, and so yes.
It's sort of like, one point it's all security and everything else. The next thing you're helping people get into their homes. I'm like, that's a complete switch. So, first of all, welcome to the show. I don't think I said that, did I? It's been a weird day. So welcome to the show. Now, how did you go from doing all that stuff with security, bodyguarding, all of that sort of stuff, and the tech side of things, to helping people find their own home so they can live their best life now?
Well, a straight line, not really. I mean, I was on quite a few curves. So, like you said, I was in the Air Force as security when I got out. I lived in Vegas for a dozen years doing security, private eye, bodyguard work there. And then I decided I wanted to leave Vegas. So I moved out here to Illinois, and eventually got right before the Y2K, got into computer programming. Because while I was in the Air Force, I tried to get into this new career field called computer programming, and they wouldn't let me out of security. So I finally, in 1999, I got my COBOL Certificate, went to IT programming.
I remember COBOL.
You remember COBOL?
I almost ended up being a computer programmer in the Royal New Zealand Air Force, and that was one of the languages I was going to have to learn.
Yep. Well, I was like almost 40 when I finally got my COBOL Certificate, started doing my IT career, started learning other languages. Didn't do too much in COBOL, did some, but VB.NET, JavaScript, C#, Java, started doing other programming. And then several years ago, let me go back. So when we go traveling, me and my wife, every time we stopped at a travel station, she was always pick up these houses for sale catalogs. So She was always looking at that. She was really into real estate, and she knew a lot more than I did about real estate. I knew basically nothing. So then they had one of these TV rehab flipping personality specials. We're doing something here locally, and they were having a little one-night thing. It was free about how to rehab your house. At least that's what I thought. I thought it was about rehabbing and doing things for our house. Well, it was a program to learn how to flip houses. So we went in and started learning how to do that, and we started flipping houses. And that worked well for a couple years. And then I had a house that we bought, and we flipped it, but we couldn't sell it to make much money off of it. And someone asked if I'd owner finance it. I said, yeah, sure. I guess I could do that. So I looked into how to do that. And from there, I found there was another company that taught me who had this called Path to Home Ownership, and they trained me on how to do that. So then I learned that program, and I liked it a lot because 70% of the people cannot get bank loans, so they can't buy houses. Yeah, there's a lot. So this program allows people to be able to get into the house, and eventually they can refinance the house and get that elusive bank loan that they could not get to buy a new home. So I found this program and I love it.
Excellent. One of the things that I like about the program that you do is that you said, over 70% of people don't qualify for bank loans. And I'm one of those 70 because when I was applying for a bank loan, when we were looking at houses earlier this year, I discovered I didn't know this beforehand. It would have been helpful to have known this beforehand. But as a business owner, when they look at your finances and stuff, they look at your net income after everything's been taken out. And and I'm like, well, how is a business owner supposed to qualify? Yet had I been a W-2 employee, they look at your gross income and I wouldn't have had a problem getting a mortgage. But because I was a business owner, they look at net income. I said, but all my expenses are paid. That's all the power, the rent, everything has already come out of that. And they go, nope. And I'm like, whose screwed up idea is that? So
Right.
in that 70%, you've got all those business owners that can't get a place because of that.
And that's why it's 70%, because it's not saying that 70% of the population of the U.S. are poor and can't afford it. It's 70% also includes all those business owners. Like you said, they don't have paychecks. The banks are looking for paychecks, and they don't have paychecks. So like you, it's hard for business owners to get houses too. And we can help them in that process too, get them into the house that they want. And then within a couple of years, they can show that they've been making payments to us as a contract, and then they can go to the bank and refinance the house. And refinancing is easier than getting a new bank loan to purchase a house.
That's awesome. Yes. I love that idea. And for some people, living their best life now is just being able to own their own place.
Definitely. And right now, that's our target market, is generally those type of people who are lower income, lower middle income, and may have some credit issues, but they have good jobs, but they just don't have what it takes for the bank to qualify them. So we have houses that we get them into the program based on the level of how much down payment they have. If they don't have much down payment, we can get them in at the rent level and then help them build up their down payment to get to the lease option level, help them build their down payment to get up to the contract level, and then after a couple of years, get them to refinance the house with the bank.
That's awesome. So from that first level all the way through to where they get to refinance, how many years is that? How long does that take them?
Well, it's up to how quickly they can come up with a down payment. Now we have some programs to help them get to the next level. So like if you're in the lease option level, we give credit if you make your payments on time and you keep the house in good condition. So if you do that, we'll give you $100 credit every month. And that's $1,200 a year to help them to get up to that next level of down payment, while they are also saving additional money on their own to get up to the next level. So if they save more money, they can aggressively get up to the next level within a year for each level.
That's just such a great program. And I always keep going back to living their best life now. There's different people think, oh, live my best life now. I have to have this big house, this big, this expensive car and everything else. No, it is based on what your perception of your best life now is. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused about, oh, you're helping people live their best life now, so that means they can go travel. No, if that's not their best life, if they don't want to go traveling, I'm not going to force travel on them. Exactly. It's living your best life now is your own idea of your best life. And like we said, for many people, it's just getting their own home.
Yeah, home ownership is very important, because once you become a homeowner, you can build equity. You have an asset. You have something there, whereas you're out renting, you don't have an asset. You're paying all that money to the landlord, and you're helping them grow their asset, their equity.
Now, one thing I do like about renting, since I am renting, is I don't have to do maintenance on the house.
Right.
So in your program, how much maintenance is the homeowner to be expected to do?
All of it.
All of it?
All of it, yeah. The whole program, because they're on the path to home ownership. So they are homeowners in training. And once you get up to the contract level, you are a homeowner, because I'm like the bank. I'm the mortgagee. So I'm like a bank, and they get all the benefits like if they get a finance from the bank. But the whole process before that is, at the lease option and rent level, they are still homeowners in training. We want to train, and that's part of them learning to become homeowners. We don't want to just drop it on them and say, okay, you're at the contract level now you have to make it all. make all the changes. And it helps instill pride in them too, because they are maintaining their property.
And during that in-training process, are you giving them hints and tips on when to do certain maintenance for certain things? Like, you said you're in Illinois, so you probably got the snow up there in the wintertime, how to winterize the house, how to summerize the house, that sort of thing. Do you give them hints and tips, like monthly tips or something on how to winterize their house, for things they need to look for?
Yes.
When to schedule HVAC inspections and that sort of stuff to help. Because you've got some people that probably have never owned a home before and would just pick up the phone and call the landlord to get stuff done.
Right.
Or now go on an app and put in a maintenance request like I do.
Right. And they may not also know who to call. So we have email programs where we send that to them on a monthly basis. We educate them along the way of things that they need to know to do. Used to be that every 6 months you had to change your smoke alarm batteries. Well, unfortunately, here in Illinois, they passed at the beginning of the year you have to have 10-year battery smoke detectors and carbon monoxide. So
10 years, you can get batteries that last that long?
For 10 years, yeah.
Wow. So, are they just battery operated smoke detectors, or are they also hardwired into the electric of the house?
There could be both, but if they're battery operated, they have to have that 10-year lithium type battery. So that's something
those ones.
Yeah,
have to check those ones out.
Yeah, they're a little bit harder to find, but we have to get them into the property. So part of the thing is we have to change those out, get the old ones out, and put new ones in. So we educate them of the laws and stuff like that. So we do have email campaigns, and they can always call or email me if they have any questions.
That's awesome. I mean, it's like a complete homeowner package, because I know the time when my husband bought the house that we ended up living in for 12 years in Virginia, we got none of that. We got a binder that said, this is how it basically just had a guide. Once a year, do this. Every 6 months, do this. And that was it. No, how do you do it or anything else? It's just a checklist. And I'm like sitting there looking at going, we have to change filters. Where are the filters? What are they? where do we get them from? Where do we change them?
Yeah.
Fortunately, Brad had been a homeowner before, but for me, it was like a whole new ball game.
Right.
We have to winterize. What does that mean? What do we do?
Yeah, and we understand that, and we try to help the people, because right now we're getting a lot of younger people into the program. So we try to educate them, because when I became a first-time homeowner, I didn't understand all that stuff either. I needed to learn it on my own. But here they can come out and reach out to us, and we can help them along the way, because we want them to succeed.
Yeah, the baffles, that was the one that got me, the baffles, because we had a 2-story house in a basement, and it was the baffles we had to change twice a year. In the winter, we had to have the heat more on the lower levels because heat rises. And then in the summertime, we had to have the cold coming from the top down. So we had to change the baffles to direct the air to do that. So, and then but fortunately, we also had a house inspector who was very good, because he walked us through some of just the minor things like the baffle thing. And he had a Sharpie marker with him. And so what we did is, with the Sharpie marker, is that we moved the baffle to where it had to be for the winter, and we put a line on the side of it with a W next to it, and then moved it where it had to be for the summer and put a line on the other side of it with an S. So we just knew we just have to move that baffle backwards and forwards, and we're going to do this one over here this way. And so fortunately, we had a home inspector that did that that helped us mark that up. But yeah, most of the time I was sort of like, Brad, it says we have to do this. What do we do? And he'd be like, I don't know.
Right. Yep.
You've been a homeowner before. I hadn't. So the two of us would figure it out.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that you have that training program that you have in training, because it does give people pride in their home.
Yes.
They say, this is going to be our home. This is what we have to do to get it ready for the winter. Hey, I did that. I got it done.
And another way that we can help homeowners is the houses that we buy may not always be flipped. Some of them may need to work. I mean, we look at some houses that need some work. So rather than us go in and flip it at our taste and what we think the homeowner may want, we get the major stuff done, and then have them come in and have them do the work to their taste, and we can give them credit towards their down payment. So that can help their down payment to grow even more.
So if they remodeled the kitchen and stuff, the cost of what they paid for the kitchen would then be credited towards their down payment?
Yeah, if we agree upon that, yes, that we can do. They pay to get the cabinets and installation, everything.
Awesome.
We'll credit that towards their down payment.
That is a cool idea.
So rather than do a down payment and then do the repair, let the repair do the repair and let that fund your down payment.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, not only because then they're getting a house that they like the house anyway. They're getting it to their taste.
Yeah.
So it's going to make them want to stay longer.
Exactly.
And think, I've just put all this work in. Why do I want to move?
Right.
That's awesome. Now you said something about major repairs. So do you do major repairs first before they move in?
Yeah, I mean,
the house has to be at before they move in.
Well, there could be some issues like the roof. Maybe it needs a new roof. I mean, that can be pretty expensive. So rather than have them pay for it, we'll get that done. Or maybe there's some plumbing issues, major plumbing issues. We can go in and get the major plumbing issues or foundation issues. So we'll look at some major stuff, and we'll get that done first. But we will also work with our homeowners to find out how much of the work that they want to do and how much we need to do, and all that will factor in. We can factor all in for them for the purchase of the house, ultimate purchase of the house.
So here's another question for you, because I'm trying to think from a landlord perspective. They're in their house, they're working towards putting their down payment down and all of that sort of thing. Do you still do things like inspections, once a year inspections and things like that to see how things are going in the house?
No, it's like I said, if they're on the non-contract level, we'll go in and every once in a while just to make sure that the place is being upkept. Because if they keep the place in good condition and make their payments on time, they'll get that $100 credit towards the down payment. But once you get up to the contract level, just like a bank doesn't come in and look at your house to see if it's up to date. I might drive by. I drive by the properties. I like to look at them to make sure they're all functionally okay. But I don't need to go inside them to inspect at the contract level. The lease option, the rent level, yeah, we can do that periodically. But I don't want to be a burden to them. I want them to let them know that we trust them. Mm-hmm. And that they can go ahead and make it their own home.
I love that. Because I was looking at list options down here, although the company who was going to be doing the buying, because there was such a competitiveness in the price bracket that I was looking at.
Right.
They were going in under the asking price, but then people were coming in with cash, and they were doing cash as well, but paying the asking price. So I never got a look in, but they were rent to own, and none of your rent went towards the purchase price of the house. But they had, here's what your rent's going to be for the next 5 years, and if you want to purchase, here's the purchase price for the next 5 years.
Right.
And they did a 5.5% increase on the rent and the purchase price of the house, and they factored into the original purchase price. If you went in there and the carpet was terrible and you requested that they replace all the carpet beforehand, they would factor that into the cost of that into the price of the house. If you wanted them to purchase the fridge or the washer and dryer, they would factor that in as well. Mm-hmm. Or you can provide your own washer and dryer in there, which is what I did for this place for renting. But I got a brand new refrigerator and freezer.
Hey. That's good.
Yeah.
So our program is similar, but it's not a rent to own. But like I said, we want them to have pride in the house. So they make their payments on time and keep it in good condition. We'll give them $100 credit towards their down payment and get them up to that next level, ultimately contract. And then
you're always educating them to get them to the next level, to help them to succeed, to fulfill their dream of becoming a homeowner.
Exactly. Yes.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that program. And and you can probably, the listeners can probably see. Now tell us about the 5-step quick and easy way to sell your home fast and for a full price document that if they want to get that for free.
Yeah.
And I'm putting that into the comments now.
Yeah, come to the site and give us some information. We'll email you a PDF that gives you 5 steps of things to do to help you sell your home fast. So if you're looking at selling your home real fast, these are things that will help you to get it ready to sell fast.
That's awesome. Bill, thank you so much for coming on this evening. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your day, and thank Lisa for allowing you to come and sit with me for a few minutes and have a chat.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me on board. This has been great, Helen.
My pleasure. And you're welcome to come back anytime, and we can keep talking about the path to home ownership, or we can go into a completely different topic.
Okay.
As long as it falls under live your best life now, we're good.
I'll keep that in mind.
And so for everybody who is watching, I have put into the chat, which will end up in the comments below, the link to get your 5-step quick and easy way to sell your house fast and for full price. Oh, I realized I didn't put that one didn't put a space in there, but that one did. Interesting.
Yes.
YouTube took a space out. I'll have to go correct that. It's the same link that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, but it's now in the comments. They can click on it. So again, Bill, thank you so much for your time this evening. I learned a lot just in our little chat here, because having been through this process of rent to own, then looking at purchasing a house, and then just going for a full rental over the last few months, your process sounds so much easier. And I wish I had known about it before then. Like I wish I was in Illinois at the time, but kind of like it here in Arizona. It's not far from California to go visit the grandkids. Yeah. Illinois is just a little further away. But thank you again for your time. I appreciate it. And everybody who is watching, thank you for tuning in and watching. Whether you are watching us live or you're watching on the replay, we thank you for tuning in and watching. And we will be back tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And we are getting closer and closer to our goal of 1,460 shows. Yay! So we will see you guys tomorrow evening at, what's that one?
Oh, if you want to put that in the comment, that's my website that people can learn more about our program.
Oh, cool. Okay, let me go down the comments.
Yes.
To learn more about, look, this is on the fly. You're seeing the slide. Yes. More about path to home. Ownership.
For those who are listening, it's 309 Family Home, the number 4 and the letter U.com. And check out our program.
There we go.
Yes.
Yes. And I put the gap in on YouTube. Well, thank you again. Thank you again, Bill. And thank you, everybody, for tuning and listening. We'll be back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, konara.
Bye.